Yo guys, welcome back to another episode of Manga Review. It's episode 45, and today we're going to be covering volume 29 of My Hero Academia. Yeah, really cool volume, I think. A lot of crazy stuff happened here, and I can't wait to crack into this. I will say, this volume at first was kind of confusing. I thought maybe I would need to read it again just because some of the stuff that happened, I don't know. It was just a little confusing to me. Just prior to me actually making this video, I went ahead and read an article explaining this volume just to freshen everything up because it has been a few weeks since I read this. I actually read it. I'm trying to think when I read it. It was probably, I think, like 2 weeks ago I read this. Yeah, and it was confusing when I read it, so a lot of the information wasn't super fresh in my mind, so went ahead, read an article, and, yeah, so I understand most of what's happening now after reading the explained thing, and, yeah, it's a pretty solid looking volume. It's really interesting. As you can see, it has, Bakugo, taking a hand from, it looks like, child Midoriya. So, yeah. And then on the back here, we have Ochako, but also another shampoo commercial with Mount Lady, which is sort of a throwback to, like, the first volume, I'd say. Actually, I'm going to go grab that real quick so I can show you guys. Okay, so I haven't actually compared the two before, but here's volume 1 right here. And we have the hair shampoo commercial with Mount Lady. And here's volume 29. So, yeah. Is it the same? I wonder, is it the same? Yeah, it's the same shampoo that is being promoted, it looks like. So, yeah, I just thought that was really interesting. That was one of the first things I noticed when picking up this volume. So, yeah, and also, speaking of Mount Lady, she is actually on the spine here, which is really cool. I do like My Hero spines. I like how there's like a different character down there on every volume. I think it's really cool. I mean, at first they were doing just the students, and then they did the villains during like the My Villain Academia part, and now they're doing more of the pro heroes, which is pretty cool. So, yeah, Mount Lady on here, and yeah, I think it's about time we crack into this volume. The first thing that we do see in this volume is the continuation of the whole, I guess what it's called is the war arc. I've heard it be referred to. So I guess that sort of started, the war arc, I guess, started with the My Villain Academia thing, when the Liberation Army became a thing, and then where we're at now. So, yeah, I think the war arc is ending soon, I think. I'm not sure. But, in the last volume we saw Shigaraki, he was inheriting, like, the All for One. He was doing, like, some freaky experiment stuff, and he was prematurely released, by, I think it what's her name, Muriko, the rabbit chick, or it's Miriko, or something like that. I think she had released him, and so he's only at like 75%, and so he's experiencing some issues with inheriting All for One, because it's like something like his body can't fully handle it yet. But needless to say, I mean, he's still ridiculously powerful right now. He's leveled an entire city with one hand, so I mean, yeah, that's happening. But at the end of the last volume, we did see Izuku and Bakugo, and I think Todoroki also just hop right into the battle in order to save Aizawa, I believe. And yeah, so Izuku is fighting Shigaraki here. So that happens. They're trying to stop him, but his body is like slowly being taken over by All for One. so he's losing like his, I'd say his free will in a sense, like All for One's will is like taking over in a sense, I guess. That was one of the things I was sort of confused about. But so yeah, they're fighting Shigaraki, and then we switch over. We get Mount Lady versus Gigantomachia. So that giant beast thing that's attracted to All for One's quirk, I guess. That, yeah, just that giant. It almost kind of looks like the Jaw Titan from Attack on Titan to me. But he's coming over. He's coming to where the battle is, and so they're trying to stop him from getting to where Shigaraki is. So Mount Lady tries to stop him. She is getting wrecked right now just because, I mean, this giant thing is ridiculously strong also and massive. I think it might be bigger than Mount Lady. So she's having a lot of trouble. She's getting hurt. So she might be dying. I'm not 100% sure. And then again, we go back to where the battle is happening, I guess, and Gran Torino jumps in, and he also, I think Shigaraki unlocks like this weird tendril thing or something, and then it like pierces through Gran Torino, and then Deku sort of freaks out, like goes berserk. So is Gran Torino dead too? I'm not sure, but he is pretty wounded, I'd say. Yeah, because he got like run through with like some weird tendril thing or something like that. So Deku is going berserk and like punching Shigaraki, and then we flip over again. There's just, in like these past few volumes have just had so much happening with just so much destruction and just fights and stuff. It's kind of hard to keep track of what's going on. Just because it's constantly switching back and forth between different characters and stuff. But we have Midnight. So Midnight comes up with this thing. She's gonna try and take down this giant beast by using her like aroma thing, but like to put it asleep. So she uses, what's his name? Kamui Woods. From, if you guys remember from the first episode of My Hero Academia, or I say first episode, but also in like the first volume, when him and Mount Lady took down that one massive bad guy. They're sort of doing the same thing, but Kamui Woods like throws Midnight into the air, so that she could hop on top of Gigantomachia's back. But what she doesn't realize is that there's villains on top of him. So I think Toga, Dobby, and Mr. Compress are on his back. And Mr. Compress like throws like a giant piece of concrete, and it frickin' like wrecks Midnight. And so she like falls out of the air and gets crushed by like a giant slab of concrete on the floor. So I'm pretty sure Midnight is probably gonna die here. So I'm not too sure. I don't think it's confirmed that she's dead yet, but in like her last moments, sort of, she goes on the radio and tells Momo to use her quirk to create like this sedative using her quirk, using Midnight's quirk, to try and, there's like these canisters that they're supposed to use on Gigantomachia to put him to sleep. Then we do see Deku go in to punch the crap out of Shigaraki, but turns out Shigaraki actually has one of the deleter rounds in his hand, which we saw a bit before. I think that they were first introduced when we had the Overhaul arc. Of course, it took away Mirio, his quirk, so... Yeah, so Shigaraki has one, and he shoots it. I don't know exactly how he shoots it. He has it in his hand. I guess either he throws it or like somehow propels it at Aizawa, and it shoots him in the leg. So instead of Aizawa letting his quirk be deleted, he takes a knife and cuts his own leg off in order to stop it from spreading to the rest of his body. So, yeah, Aizawa takes his own leg off, which that was kind of crazy. I might actually want to show you guys. I haven't shown you guys a lot of these panels. So, yeah, and Shigaraki's looking crazy, too. But yeah, Aizawa takes his leg off, which, yeah, I was surprised by that. It kind of reminded me of in The Walking Dead, in the show when Herschel, when he gets bit, and then he has to, or Rick takes the axe and hacks his leg off. Yeah, that's just sort of what that reminded me of. But then Shigaraki goes at some point in a little bit here. I don't know if it's directly after that. It looks like it is pretty much directly after that. Shigaraki goes and he's gonna use like some sort of massive delete thing on the ground, and that's when Midoriya activates one of his new inherited quirks, and that is called Float, or as I like to call it, Creative Mode. So he flies up in the air and uses his black whip to like grab everybody up. And so Shigaraki uses his thing on the ground, destroys a bunch of stuff, but Midoriya saves everybody by lifting them up in the air. Like, if you've ever played Minecraft and you go into creative mode and you use a lead on your animal and you're floating up with them, that's basically what Midoriya just did to everybody. So yeah. And then at some point after that, Shigaraki goes in again with some sort of blast of some sort, some weird tendril thing, and Bakugo steps in the way to save Midoriya from it. And so he gets absolutely wrecked here at the end. And yeah, so rip in chat for Bakugo. Not 100% sure. We'll just have to see what happens in the next volume. There's a lot of characters that may or may not be dead. During this arc, there's just like, this war arc has been insane. Just so many characters either dying or getting the utter crap beaten out of them and being close to death. Like, in this volume alone, you know, we got Bakugo, who might be dead at some point soon. Midnight might be dead. Gran Torino might be dead. Mount Lady might be dead. Like, we've just had so much happening. But I'm excited for the next volume. The next volume will be volume 30, which is insane. Yeah, I think I will watch the manga or watch the anime at some point for season 5. Just maybe do a review on that. I know season 5 part 2 is airing right now, I think, or I'm not exactly sure. But because I know they took a break and then they started airing it like very soon after, so I'm not exactly sure, but I do plan on watching season 5 of My Hero soon and maybe doing a review on that. So but yeah, that's gonna about do it for today's video, or I say today's video. There might be another video out today if I feel like it, but yeah, this is the video I had planned for today. And yeah, that's gonna about do it though. This volume was these past few volumes have just been insane. Just so much destruction, characters getting wrecked, and yeah, I'm just hyped. It definitely feels like the end of the series. It's feeling like it's gonna end, but I've seen some stuff. I try to stay away from My Hero spoilers, but I've seen some things about like a post-war thing happening with like a weird like vigilante type thing going on, and I don't know. There could be like a time skip coming or something. I'm not exactly sure, but whatever it is, I'm sure it'll be cool. And yeah, can't wait for the next volume. And on that note, I'll catch you guys in the next one, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'd greatly appreciate it. So, yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Peace.